we're going to meet up with Hyacinta, and I'm excited. Now sound like you. So, still on the way. It doesn't take very long. Come on, love. So finally, we arrived at the University of Hong Kong, and we were met by Hyacinta, who is the one who extended the invitation to me. I got there, we had enough time for a little bit of breakfast, and then we were escorted to the classroom. I began to talk after about maybe an hour and a half after the professor gave his lecture, and I tried to align what I was going to say along with his lesson. Now, he spoke a lot about, that's the professor right there. He spoke a lot about colonization both in Africa and in the Americas, slavery, and the European mindset that was kind of used to brainwash a lot of the black people between the Americas and Africa. And it was such an awesome experience to be able to share and have the students be so attentive to what I was saying. And I had a marvelous conversation with this young lady. I don't remember her name, but she's Ethiopian. And she is going to be an awesome educator. She changed her major to Africana studies rather. And so here is a bit of the lecture for you. It's snippets, so enjoy. I grew up listening to a lot of Bob Marley, right? Now, you just saw about the Battle of Adwa, right? Adwa, in Ethiopia. Bob Marley, I know you guys on your computers, if you can, I need you to Google for me, Bob Marley, Confrontation. I want you to see that album cover. That album cover, for me, did a lot. The artwork, the Ethiopian artwork that you see, Bob Marley had the same type of thing on that particular album cover. And on it, on the front, you'll see him on kind of like I don't remember if it's a horse or a dragon or something to that effect. And on the back of it, you'll be able to see a whole spread of the actual battle in artwork. Everybody know about hip hop, right? Rap music? Okay. The area that I lived in, New York City, at that time, that's where hip hop was created, right in the Bronx. And yeah, that's important. You got to know hip hop is from the Bronx. Why I mention this, because a lot of the message in early hip hop was a lot about black history, black pride, talking about things like the Haitian, the Haitian Revolution with Toussaint Louverture, right, and pushing the French out. Talking about a lot of things that was happening, like in Zimbabwe, things that were happening all throughout Africa, and we started to learn about these facts. One of the things that I learned quickly between the Caribbean, blacks in the Caribbean and blacks in the United States, is that we couldn't necessarily pinpoint where in Africa we were from. Could not do that. So as a whole, what we had to do, we had to take the whole continent and just claim it, hold it down. Because unlike our African friends from, I have many friends from Nigeria, Liberia, and all these other places. So sometimes what we would end up having to do is, through our friends, we have to take bits and pieces of their culture, because we didn't know what ours was, right? And so what ends up happening now is we begin to take this adopted culture, we put it in our music. Now, your professor said something that was very interesting to me when he began his presentation. And he started talking about how the colonial mindset of the Europeans take a DNA test. You take the DNA test, Now, when I first saw this program, the test was like $600. And I was like, what? US? I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do it eventually. I knew I would do it. And then the price dropped. And I was like, okay, awesome. Price dropped. It's like about $300 US. And I bought one last summer. Bought the test. Went home for the summer to New York. And the test was waiting for me. I said, yes. Took it. Came back to China. Sent the test to my aunt's house. And when I got the results back, I just knew I was from Ghana. I just knew it. And then I said, oh, you're from Cameroon. I said, oh, okay. Yay, Cameroon. So I started to find out everything that I could about Cameroon. Particularly the ethnic group or people that my mitochondrial DNA was a 99.7% match with was the T-card people. And then I tried to find scholarly articles, journals, books, anything I could on the T-card people, and I could not. And I'm like, wow, you know, I felt really bad or bummed out. And I started to make some connections. Social media is a wonderful thing. And I don't think people really understand how powerful it is. Because of social media, I'm here with you today. Also, it's like I got to meet people from the village, the T-card village in Cameroon. I'm meeting all of these people. One of the interesting things that I found in conversing with them was this. We come back to that colonial mindset. I realized that my way of thinking, right? My way of thinking is from, and I need to be careful how I say this, it's from a Eurocentric perspective, right? From a Eurocentric perspective, because people were taken, right? You have people who were captured, enslaved, brought to a new place. And as a way, as a tool of survival, they had to change everything about what they knew, their culture, just so that they can stay alive. And as I'm listening to my conversations with these people, I'm just like, my American self wants to be like, no, that's not right. This is not how you should do it. You should do it this way. But me as a new, I want to say a baby, and finding out about my heritage, I had to be like, Keisha, shut up and listen. Shut up and listen. Because you have to understand how they do things. The American mindset, we always want to come in someplace, kick down the door and change stuff. That's just what it is. But it's like, no, I need to relax, I need to calm down, and I need to listen. Now, I've been talking to a lot of people in Cameroon. One of the things that I realize is that many of them, as many Africans, not all, many, they don't understand what happened during the slave trade. They don't understand. They also don't understand from the time of slavery in the United States, Caribbean, to the emancipation, when we became free, to the black codes, to the civil rights movement, to present day. They don't fully understand. And I think there's a lot of black people in the United States who don't fully understand what happened during African colonialism either. So you have two people who are connected, who are hurt, based off of colonialism, right? The same feelings. So what happens now is, because we don't know the trauma, the post-slavery traumatic syndrome, right? We don't know. So when we talk now, it's just like, wow, I wasn't aware. Not saying that it happened to me physically, but ancestors, right? So I'm like, wow, I wasn't aware that this happened to you guys. I didn't realize that slavery was so bad. Before coming up, I never really appreciated my American citizenship. And I think to certain degrees, even now, I still don't appreciate it as I should. Coming abroad and traveling makes me appreciate my American citizenship. Because even going home to see my relatives in Jamaica, I realized, wow, if my grandparents never came to the United States, the opportunities that I have presently, I wouldn't be chilling with you guys in Hong Kong. I wouldn't be here, you know. But what I try to do when I'm traveling is this. I always search for evidence and traces of blackness everywhere I go. And even in this particular part of the country, I'm always amazed when I find it. Like going to the Philippines and finding the Ati people. They're black. I went for Christmas, I went to India. And I went to an area called Yellowpore. And have you ever heard of the city people? SIDDI? So the city people, we got to spend a whole day with the city community. They are Africans of Indian descent. They came from Africa by the Portuguese, however 700 years ago or whatever, and they're still there. And so we got to talk about this same conversation that I'm having with you. What was that like? You know what I mean? But you pick your moments. You pick your moments. My job as an educator is to teach. And I'm going to do it as best as I can and with as much passion as I can. They didn't like what I had to say. They could have fired me, but I was still there. So, but that's how I did it all the time. I don't want to say that I'm obsessed with it, but I'm obsessed with knowing. I need to see. I don't know who the person was on my grandmother's side, whatever. But I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, to know that this was the last thing that you saw. The point of no return. There's no going back. It's either you're going to die or you get on a boat. That's it. You don't have a choice. Would you like to go to the United States today? Nobody asks you that. They just take you, they snatch you up, and they put you on the boat. Now, on the ship, now, your professor did talk about it. I was hoping that he would show a picture. But you are tight. It's like a tight pack. Finished my lecture, and it was great. We are outside it's so beautiful out here. Like, the weather is great, and they have outside. It almost kind of gives you the feel of like Borough of Manhattan Community College. It's a beautiful, beautiful campus. Look at Hong Kong. I would never go to class look at this. I would never really go. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope that you found it informative. And I want to thank you so much for watching and to continue to keep up with me in my journey as I'm discovering my roots. And I encourage you to do the same thing with your family. Once again, thanks for watching.